What the heck is it going to take for them to stop delivering all this junk mail?
Pouncy House. We pounce and then we bounce.
Mom, did you say flush are number 1 or 2?
Ollie, I explained this before. If it's yellow, let it mellow.
Mom, I'm going for a hike. I'm gonna talk to the trees. At least they don't talk back.
We pounce and then we bounce. Hi everyone, Pouncy here. I'm actually getting dressed to go out, but I wanted to have to say a quick video shout out to you guys based on something that came to me. You know, a lot of people out there are suffering from depression, and people are afraid to admit it to each other because they feel like they're going to look like a failure or there's something wrong with them, when in essence that's not the case, okay? And I'm sure that if you went to a therapist they'd say that. But a lot of people don't want to really talk about this type of subject because they feel inadequate, or people who they feel like they're going to be judged, or they feel like someone's going to think there's something wrong with them. And I will say it again, that's not the case. Our world today consumes our life. Now, I've talked about a lot of things, and the last video was about energy vampires. That's one of the reasons that someone could go into a depression state. I mentioned that, I think, in the video, is like, you know, you go into like a supermarket or a mall and you walk out and you're like, how come I feel not the same way I felt when I went in? Well, that's because you are exchanging energies with people throughout the store, and some of those people might be suffering from loss in the family, arguments, fights, whatever it might be. You don't know what negative shit's going on in their life. Could be illnesses. You know, there's a whole list of tragic things that go on with human beings that cause us to be in emotional sways in our life and our moods. Now, I must say, I'm not saying there's no one out there that can't say that they have not gone through emotional lows and highs in life. If they say that they haven't, then check their fucking pulse, because it's bullshit. But I must say, with me, is I work myself out of it as quickly as possible. And I look for the source of the problem, and then I cut it out, or I fix it if it's within myself. So if it's some other person that I'm associating with, then I just say, hey, how can I fix this? You don't necessarily have to cut that person out, but you just say, oh, maybe I need to take this person in smaller quantities, or we talked about that in the last video. So with depression, let's just say, it bothers me inside because I have a couple people close to me that suffer from that, and I don't think they feel understood, and they have come to me about it, and I've offered my healing work, and when they're ready, I will be working on them, hopefully. But medication does not help it. It just puts a little Band-Aid on it, and it will continue to happen because you need to get to the root of the problem. And usually the root of the problem is your household, meaning your living conditions, who you're sleeping with, who you're living with, which can sometimes not be who you're sleeping with. You know, who knows? And, you know, you just need to check all these different things in your life. Your workplace, for sure. You need to not, and I know that this sounds ridiculous, but you have to not allow finances to get in the way of your happiness. Now, I know that sounds like cliche. I'm living proof of that because I've had lows financially, and I've had highs financially. So I can admit that I've been in both categories, and if you're in the low category, just remember it can only go up from there usually. However, material items you do not bring to your grave. So, and I know that's another cliche, but what I'm trying to say is, the worst case scenario is you're going to have to look for other more achievable goals in your life to move further. Maybe get a side job. Maybe say, hey, maybe this isn't right for me. I need to be an entrepreneur. Anyone could be an entrepreneur if you put your mind to it. You know, you find a way to change things. And if you can't change it, remember this, if you can't change it, you have to change the way you look at it, the way you view it in life. So that means, like, say if I can't change my job and I know that I have a 401k and I got to stay there, then you got to change your perception of it and look for the things you like about your job. So you stay there and your perception changes. It's just like the emotional ladder, man. You got to keep yourself in the positive emotional ladder. You have to permeate yourself. Honestly, I will tell you how to permeate yourself, and I will explain this to you in another video when I have more time, but I'm very passionate about this. I call him Archangel Michael. Obviously, a lot of people out there know who he is. Beautiful, oh my God. And I call him into my healing sessions to permeate the people that I work on. So there's an energy around them so they're not affected by other people's energy. And I do that with my Wilbur. I do that obviously with myself. And you can do that too. So it's real simple. It's not like, oh my God, how do I do that? You call upon him like you're praying and you ask him to permeate you and say, please permeate me where I do not pick up energies from other people. So I am more in balance and in sync with what I'm supposed to do in life, blah, blah, blah. If you have any questions, put it below and I will answer them for you. But I think I'm making this real explicit. It's like really, you just pray to him and ask him for what you want to permeate you with white light. And then you see this white light permeate around you when you sleep at night, and boom, it's done. You don't have to ask him twice, trust me. It's not like humans, you got to ask him 500 times to do something. You ask him and it's done. So amazingly, it makes me my heart sing that I am able to connect to him and speak to him. And believe it or not, when you speak to him in healing, you're speaking to him like he's a human being, the way he speaks to you. It's no different. And, you know, it's not like he's talking to me like I see him. But anyway, I don't want to get into the logistics of it because it's not worth it. I'd be here all day. The point is, what I'm trying to say to you is that's going to help you with your depression if you're suffering from it or you know someone who is. Or find them a healer that can work on their chakras and get their chakras all cleaned up, because we all have emotional shit we carry within our chakras. Look it up online, you'll understand. We have 7 chakras throughout our body. We have other chakras throughout above our head, but those are for people who are ascending and moving closer. They start to open up those. But let's not talk about those. It's just, you know, let's go through the chakras, and I'm going to do a video on that. So maybe have them go to a healer. And then if not, just have them sit down and talk to someone who they trust, and then just let them know what I just explained here. And it sounds like I'm saying, oh, it's just lickety split, it just fixes itself. No, your emotional thought process is what changes depression, gets you out of it. Your thought process of thinking about what you want instead of what you don't want. Your thought process of thinking about maybe whatever I'm doing in my life and I'm failing at it or it's not working out is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Think about that for a second. Because for years I was doing something else with my life, and then I realized, oh God, I'm not supposed to be doing this. He wants me in a different direction, which was the environmental business. You know, I went to school to be a radiology technologist and then a nurse. And then after that, oh God, I did so many things. Bartend, did acting, did a little modeling. None of it was for me. Got into the industry of green. Man, that just turned me on. And then the healing business turned me on. So you, if that's what you're suffering from, it's because your consciousness, I think your higher self is trying to tell you something. So this cannot be compacted into 8 minutes, 30 seconds. It just can't. So, did I say 8 minutes or 30 seconds? That's what I meant. Anyway, so I do need to get dressed, but I wanted to really say this because this is an urgency in my soul to communicate this to people, because I experienced 2 conversations today with friends that are dealing with this, and it really hurts my heart. That's me. It hurts my heart, and I'm thinking how many other people out there are dealing with this, and maybe, just maybe, if I say something today, that someone else's tomorrow is going to be different, and I'm really being honest about that. So I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and my next videos, I don't know what it's going to be. I know I talked about doing fruits and vegetables, but I didn't have a chance to do it this week. But I will be getting to the organic versus conventional to educate you. But there's a couple other subjects I want to talk about that's just like about this kind of stuff. And I'm not saying I'm a know-it-all by no means. This is all about my own internal experiences and, again, my own education. And if I could just pass the torch and help someone, or I could pass this knowledge on and someone passes on to someone else, then it makes my heart feel good. So anyway, have a good day, night, wherever you are in the world. Pouncey's out.
We pounce and then we bounce.
Don't forget to like Pouncey's video
And subscribe.